Greetings, fellow travelers. A few weeks ago, I started making a cool game on Roblox, which basically is a sandbox interactive refinery on the moon. Last time I did the resource harvesting part of the game. Today we're going to talk about the next step of the production chain, which is processing. There must be different steps and methods to processing so that the gameplay doesn't seem too repetitive. So I had to think about different processing methods. That, of course, would have to suit the different ores. First is the basic prehistoric old one, melting and cooling. So I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. You melt the raw material, do stuff on it, and then you cool it down. Now I had to figure out a way to make it work. The good thing is that I already have the building in which stuff will be cooked and cooled down. So I just had to code it now, and it's not as easy as it seems. Thanks God I am a God scripter. So the way it works is by detecting whenever an ore is touching the melting spot. Whenever the ore starts touching the melting spot, it'll start counting to 10. If it reaches 10, then the ore is melted. I then just tween the color accordingly to the time and add a status to the ore once it's cooked. Cooling works the same. It checks if the ore is melted and then counts to 10 while making sure the ore is still in the water, and it slowly changes the color so that it returns to its original color. That's the two first potential steps in the processing part done. Now I also wanted to add some more straightforward methods. Basically just brain-dead buttons to press. You press a button and something happens. That's it. The first obvious one would be the crusher. Good thing I already had a model. Coding it wasn't too hard. I made it so when the player presses this very well-made button, it plays an animation and crushes all the ores that are present on the crushing platform, basically just putting the new version of it where the old one was. Now I also thought about diversity, and so I added a mega electromagnetic nucleator. It basically works the same. You press a button, it makes this cool effect, and the ores magically change. Two more methods, which makes 4 different processing methods in total. What's amazing is that they can be combined to make different possibilities for each ore. Theoretically, 340 different ones. Now, you might be wondering concretely, how do I know the process each ore needs, in which order it's applied, and how do I apply it to the actual game? So the way it works is that I made tables in which is stored the objects that can be processed, what are the requirements for it to be processed, and what is the result. When a part touches the platform, it checks, first of all, if it is a material that can be processed, and then if it fills the requirements for it to be processed. For example, if you want to crush a metal ore, the script will first search to see if metal ore is a part of the table of the elements that can be processed. Then it checks if it is melted, and if it is, then it can be crushed. For the melting, it simply checks if the item has the can melt tag that is pre-assigned to each item. From that, I can just define my requirements based on the process I want for an ore. For the metal ore, it needs to be melted before it being crushable, making a metal plate. Then in order to have a usable metal plate, it has to be cooled down. Magnetite has to be nuclearized and then crushed. Here's the full table until now. So that's it for the processing part. However, it is a little bit light content to make a single video about just those few things. So I also added a few other simple stuff to give the impression that I did a lot of things, like this basic first-person view and the ability to modify the distance between the object you're carrying and yourself. Anyway, that's the processing part done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give me feedbacks in the comments and share your ideas about the game. Peace out.